Good morning, team. It is Tuesday, November 17th. I'm Amy Kaur, and I'm actually live out of the Goose Island office along with Kevin Van Eck. I'm super excited because I'm actually standing in my brand new office. As you can see from behind me, I'm in need of a little decorating, maybe a little bit of artwork. So hopefully by next Tuesday, it'll be jazzed up a little bit more. Nevertheless, grab your mug and join us for the next episode of Coffee with Amy and Kevin.
Hi, good morning, Amy. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. Yes, make sure you've got your coffee full. I know mine is for the 7th time this morning. So before we get started about what we're talking about today on coffee, I just want to point out that we have 3 great classes coming up, all revolving around social media. It's a social media basics class, and they're happening 3 times over the next 2 weeks. So if you go to the Agent app and you go to the training calendar, you'll see that on November 19th, that's this coming Thursday, and then also on November 24th, and then again on December 3rd at 1:30 p.m. each of those days, there's a social media basics class. And so if now is the time for you to learn more about social media, if you've been the person that said, that's not my thing, it is your thing, and now is the time to register for those classes. So today we've got a great episode for you. This week, we're talking about prospecting. Today, we're going to talk through 12 strategies for prospecting success. Are we going to get through all 12? Yes. Is it a lot to take in? Absolutely. Make sure that you know where this video resides on the Agent app and the featured post so you can come back to it, because all 12 of these points are very, very important. So why don't we kick it off, Amy, with number 1?
Thanks, Kevin. Yes, number 1 is talking about the fact that we all only have 24 hours in a day. That's right. So only a handful of these hours can always be used for selling or essentially for prospecting. So you need to make sure that you use those wisely. These are referred to as your golden hours. So you want to make sure that when you have the time to focus on prospecting, you're doing it and you're doing it well, because there's not going to be any additional time or hours in the day you're going to be able to find later on to be able to do it.
That's right. Number 2, you have to adopt a CEO mindset. In terms of finding the time to do it, that's one thing. Number 2 is you have to do it. You're the only person. You have to adopt the CEO mindset that you are in control of everything, whether it's your time, it's your resources, your finances, your energy. You are the one that's going to get things done. And what that also means is that if things don't get done, there is no one else to blame. It's our business. It is on us to control these things. So looking at your business like a CEO means you have to treat it like any CEO would treat their business.
Number 3 is to protect the golden hours. Again, the golden hours are the time that you put aside to focus on prospecting. That is picking up the phone, smiling and dialing, trying to reach out for new business opportunities, or texting and sending texts out to people. You've got to focus that time and focus it well. So make sure to protect the golden hours and keep in mind all of the non-revenue generating activities. You do them outside of that time frame. So make sure you figure out what your golden hours are and make sure to protect them.
And number 4 is delegate. We are often control freaks. So while we're being CEOs of our business, we want to control everything. But as Amy just said, we cannot take our golden hours and spend time doing non-revenue generating activities. So 2 options. One is we do them outside of those golden hours, or better yet, at a certain point in our business, we have to delegate. We have to find someone else to do those tasks. We earn no income by managing our own transactions. We earn no income by scheduling or admin tasks. Delegate. This is the way to win and move ahead, focus on relationships, and protect those golden hours that we're talking about.
Number 5 is time blocking. This is going to transform your career if you can learn to establish great time blocking. Here's the thing. You'll have nothing to follow up on. You'll have no administrative tasks if you have nothing in the pipeline. If you have no clients to work on, everything else doesn't really matter. So make sure that you take a look at your weekly calendar and you figure out where you are going to block time to make sure that you do the prospecting calls that you need to in order to fill your pipeline and to move your business forward.
Number 6 is something called Horstman's corollary. Try and say that 7 times quickly. Try and Google it and see what comes up. What Horstman's corollary says is that when you schedule a certain amount of time for a task, it will take that amount of time to do that task. For example, if you have 10 calls to make and you schedule 3 hours to do it, you will take all 3 hours to make 10 calls. So make sure that you're monitoring your schedule so that you are collapsing the time frame needed down, because otherwise you will fill your time without being as productive as possible.
Number 7 is stick to your guns, or even better, stick to your time blocking. Here's the thing. You might have somebody come in and say, hey, you know what? I know you said you might be tied up in the morning, but do you want to go and grab a cup of coffee? And that might be somebody asking you who isn't going to give you any business. You need to make sure that you treat time blocking like a listing presentation, like a second showing, like an open house. This is part of your business that is non-negotiable. So you need to make sure that you put it in your calendar, but then you gotta stick to it. Putting it into your calendar isn't good enough. You actually have to follow up and block that time and follow through with the prospecting.
Number 8, concentrate your power. We like to pride ourselves on saying that we are multitaskers, or that that's some sort of magical skill. The problem with multitasking is that we are typically less efficient when we are working on multiple things at the same time. So here's a good example of prospecting where you are focusing your power. If you are going to be calling people, focus on dialing the phone, focus on calling them. Then before you actually sit down to call, make sure you have a list of the people that you're going to call, then make the calls, then schedule time after to make sure you're entering it into your CRM so you're not bouncing between, wasting time. We've all been there before where we've scheduled time to make calls. We spend that time trying to figure out who we're going to call. Then we spend some time calling, but at the same time, we're bouncing between the CRM, and we know when we get on the internet or social media, we are distracted for days. So make sure that you focus your energy on one specific task so that you can be more efficient.
That's right. And then number 9, I love this one. This is beware of the ding. You know what I mean? It's when you're in the process of focusing on something and then all of a sudden you hear the ding or the 2 or 3 dings of your phone going off. If you're using your cell phone for prospecting, fine, use it for that and that alone. But if you're using a different phone and your cell phone is sitting next to you, turn it off or put it on silent. You need to focus your time on reaching out. And we all know that when the ding comes, it suddenly distracts us, and then it takes us a little bit of time to get back onto track when we refocus onto the prospecting again. So make sure you turn off anything that's going to distract you so that you can be really effective during your time blocking for prospecting calls.
Absolutely. Ding, you've got mail. And that's number 10. What lurks in your inbox will derail you. We've talked about in Ninja, and we've talked about during Do It Now and the 60 days of summer. And now it's all about love. Don't check your email for the first hour of your day. It's possible that when you open up your email, and we've all been there, that all of a sudden 45 minutes, an hour and a half goes by because it feels like we're doing something. But what has happened? Our inbox has derailed us. We've now ruined our golden hours. We've ruined the time that we had set aside for prospecting because our inbox has derailed us. It's difficult, but make sure to control yourself. Don't get dug into your inbox when you are supposed to be prospecting.
And number 11, leverage the platinum hours. So we talked about the golden hours. Those are the time, or that is the time when you're focusing on dialing, texting, prospecting. Everything is generated or focused on that. Then you've got something called the platinum hours. Those are the times outside of your golden hours where you're doing the things that you need to so that your golden hours are most effective. That's when you're going to be building your prospect list. That's when you're going to be doing the research that you need to do, creating your pre-call plans, creating your presentation materials for your buyers and sellers, setting up your calendar management, taking a look and making sure that your CRM is in good shape. Those are all things that still need to be done within the work week. So make sure you schedule these within the platinum hours so that it makes your golden hours of prospecting that much better.
And to wrap it up, number 12, measuring your worth. Understanding what our worth is, meaning on a per hour basis, what our time is worth, will help focus us on the tasks that are important, the revenue generating tasks, the income generating tasks versus the trivial tasks like admin work. And there's a formula for this to figure it out. And what it is you take your annual income goal divided by the number of working weeks times the golden hours. So if you're going to work, let's call it 48 weeks out of the year. That means you're going to take a few weeks off. And you're working 10 golden hours a week. We take 48 times 10, which is 480. And we take 250,000. If that's my goal, 250,000 income, I divide it by the 480. It works out to $520 an hour. And think to yourself, when we want to hold on to the tasks or when we're being distracted, we're not focusing on time blocking and we're doing things that don't lead to our success, we are wasting $520 an hour.
Thanks, guys. So we did it. 12 amazing prospecting tips for you to consider as you start thinking about how you are going to create success for 2021. So remember those golden hours, but also those platinum hours. And also remember, you can catch up anytime with everything related to It's All About Love. Everything is located on the Agent app. You just go ahead and search It's All About Love and you'll see everything there. That's videos, all the packets that you need. So you can take a look at what we've got this week, but you can also catch up on any of the weeks past.
That's right. And two things to remember. If you could follow us on Instagram and Facebook and subscribe to us on YouTube, we'd greatly appreciate it. And the second thing, remember.
Love yourself.
Love others.
And love what you do.
Have a great day, everybody. Thanks for joining.
Bye, guys. Make it a great Tuesday.